Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Meet the Collector. This episode I spoke with Clint from Retro Rewind. We talked about all things gaming and collecting, and we also delved into his full Master System power set. Let's go. Right, okay, so welcome to another episode of Meet the Collector, episode 4. So tonight I'm speaking to Clint from Retro Rewind. So how you doing, Clint?
Yeah, good. Thanks for having us on your channel.
Very welcome, very welcome. So I've got to say, massive fan, watch the channel a lot. We'll be putting the links to his YouTube channel and everything down below. Clint, obviously, you can see from the background like that amazing kind of like Master System collection, which we'll get into no doubt a little bit later on. But so kind of like, if you just want to give everyone a sort of little intro, perhaps about sort of like yourself and how you got into collecting.
Well, first and foremost, I'll point out the Sega t-shirt actually wasn't planned. I did just put that on today, so that's just perfect. Obviously, I'm not just a Sega fan. Collect everything retro. I got into collecting. I'll say, I don't know. I kind of like most people. I stuff in the attic, and kind of spent time up there. But funny enough, what got me into collecting again was I actually, at my old work, I used to be based, we used to have a little unit, and upstairs I used to go have my dinner. I used to have a Mega Drive 2 set up
Oh,
with
really?
a couple of games. My mate brought it in, I worked with, he found it in his house, and I used to have, before finding all my console, I used to have like a plug-in, the little plug-in where it plugs straight into the TV and you have
Yeah.
I had a couple of them set up. I had an Atari one and I had Mortal Kombat one set up on a little TV and a little DVD player, which I used to spend up there an hour for my dinner, and that's what I used to play on, or watch a film or play some games. And it wasn't till I don't know what it was. I think one of my work colleagues had found his N64 and was playing GoldenEye. And I was like, oh yeah, I wonder if I got mine. And I got mine out and had a few things set up at an house, but I don't know. I think the collecting took off when a new bigger house, so I could have a bigger room, and it's just I think what set it off was I went upstairs in the attic and parents, and I found me SNES, Street Fighter 2 edition, mint, every baggie in it, look brand new. And I remember at the first house we bought, we had this little house, and I put it on the TV, on the HD TV, and it was a rubbish picture. And I was like, oh, clearly they don't work on new TVs. So this will kill a lot of people who watch this about collecting. I sold it on eBay for about, I think it was about 20 quid, 18, 20 quid.
What, the
That
SNES?
box,
The box
yeah, the
SNES?
full box
Oh, Jesus.
with this is the killer as well, with a Street Fighter 2 tinned edition, mint with a badge in and everything, a
Jesus.
box controller and stuff like that, and a scope. I think it's off about 20, 25 quid back then. And it was about a month later, I think, something popped up on, I was just YouTube in, and then it's linked saying about obviously you can get these newer cables for new TVs, and then I was just like,
Yeah.
can't
Oh,
believe that. I was like, oh my God, and that's killed me, still kills me today that I got rid of that. So that's what started me, and then I basically got my N64 out. I brought home the Mega Drive 2 from work, and I had those two set up in our bedroom on a little TV in the corner. And I discovered a shop in town called Gotham Games, which is a little retro game shop. It had a little tiny shop, and I used to just go get the odd game, and it was just loose cart because obviously back then I wasn't collecting. I just wanted to play games I'd never played before, and I was just going and buying every month. Payday would come, I'd go treat myself to a loose cart for one, loose cart for another, and yeah, it just kind of evolved from there until we moved into this house in 2015, and I had this room actually was a gym, and on the back wall was two bikes, my two expensive bikes, because I do triathlon, and two expensive bikes I didn't want to keep in the garage. and then it just snowballed. I think I would say I kind of I'm trying to think when I got more into it. I think I just kept buying. I just kept going to Gotham Games, buying loose carts for a while. Then it wasn't until what really set the mass system off. Actually, if everyone can see this box mass system, I won on Facebook raffle with 10 games, and I'd already had about 20 loose cartridges, which I'd been obviously getting from eBay and Gotham Games. That I'd put the boxes on the shelf, and I thought, Joe, that would look cool if I could get like 50 games on the shelf.
Mm.
And basically,
there it all starts. Yeah.
Then this room happened. The gym went into the garage, the bikes went into the garage, and this room is now basically a museum of what I like to call my childhood 80s and 90s. Really, that's all. That's pretty much what it is in here.
Oh, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I think as well. I mean, a couple of points you picked up on there, like you say. It's quick. It can snowball so quickly, can't it? Like you were just talking about then. I mean, I'm a relative newcomer to this. I mean, I've always had an interest in the old stuff. I've always had an interest in retro stuff. I've always had an interest in gaming, and that sort of thing. Anyway, but I'd say collecting wise, I've probably only really done it for like the last year or two. Do you know what I mean? But this whole collection that I've got has been built up in probably the last couple of years, and like you say, it can just snowball so quick.
It does.
You pick up a bug, and then you start going for a little set, and then all of a sudden there's a little subset, and then before you know it, you've picked something else up, and now that's another collection started. And like I mean, you've seen some of the stuff that I do. I like to flip stuff and then buy sets, so it's not a massive expense to me. My time is an expense, obviously, but in terms of the monetary side of things, it's not too bad. But yeah, I think another thing you picked up on, I think maybe not every collector, but a lot of collectors that I've spoken with, they've all got that story of letting something go, that they probably regret at a obscenely silly price, obviously, as you did with the snares, but at the time it was probably the right thing to do. You needed to do it, or you decided to do it, and
the only reason I sold it because it didn't work. That was the thing. It didn't work. If I had the brain sense to know that it was a new lead, I would have bought the new lead, and I'd still have that in my collection today. But it is what it is.
Have you got it back?
No, so I have got a boxed Street Fighter 2 edition on the shelf.
You've got it back. Okay, well that's fine.
One of the first boxed consoles I actually went and bought.
I don't think you would have paid £18 for that one, though, right?
No, actually, funny enough, I paid £40 for it because the console in it is faulty. I still got it down there actually.
So then you've swapped it out.
Yeah, and it's pretty complete. It's got all the bits and bobs in it. So it is what it is. But yeah, that's it. It's surprising what I think my collection really has kind of. I would say got a lot bigger in the last. I don't know. I would say 7 years. I've been pretty much hard.
That's good going.
I would say, and like if I had only had the skill set and genius idea to go and buy and swap with CEX, but no, all this is pretty much all paid for out of my pocket. I've not done any buy to swap or anything.
It's all good because it's retaining its wealth. And then some of it's going
I wish I could trade to get back. Like I said, but I think I only used CEX. I think last year for a couple of games for the Master System. I never used them, and I've only, funny enough, on one of my vlogs, I actually went and used CEX for my first trading this year, which was hilarious. I've never been in there to do a trading, so that was something new.
I'd not done it until a month or so ago. I'd never done a trade-in until a couple of months ago. I'd bought a load of games from there. I will admit, I use it to buy stuff, but I'd never traded in. And every time I went in there, it was always a nightmare. There was always loads and loads of people in there queuing up bags of DVDs for 10 pence each, and I just it didn't interest me. But I done it the other week, and it paid off quite well. And as you probably saw, I got a couple of decent little SNES games out of it. But okay, anyway, so let's kind of get back on track. So obviously, the Master System, that's got to be up there, I'd imagine, with one of your favourite consoles. But another little thing I noticed that you speak a lot about on your channel is the Amstrad, which
Yeah.
I know I like talking about this because a lot of people I speak with is all consoles. You know, they kind of go back to about the sort of 16-bit era, sometimes the 8-bit era, but there's not many people that collect for the kind of like the microcomputers. Is that your
I
kind of
think,
like original one, or did you really
yeah,
buy it? Or
yeah. I think, well, first off and foremost, I'm 46 years old.
yeah,
So
same. Well,
obviously I started off on the microcomputer between the Amstrad and the Master System when I was first out. So the Amstrad I got, because I'm pointing it's down there, is the one I got for Christmas. I got it for Christmas off my parents, and it sat in my parents' attic for a long time. Funny story behind it is I went up into my parents' attic one day, and I was looking for stuff, and yes, sweetheart, my daughter's at the door.
it's
You
all
can
right.
come in, yeah. And I couldn't find my Amstrad up there, so I was like, oh, they must have like chucked it or whatever. And I found a box of games. So I had this Dixon's box set and a few games, which I looked on eBay and they weren't worth anything. They're worth like they weren't even worth selling or
No.
anything like that. Did you want to say hi? Sorry, here we go. Yeah.
Hello.
So I
You
actually
on the
threw them
telly?
in. I can't see him down there. Yeah, so I actually threw the games away. I actually binned them because they weren't worth anything, and I couldn't find the computer. And it wasn't until I'd say a good half a year later, I was in the attic again, moving stuff about, and I found the Amstrad right in the corner, covered up, and that kind of sunk in that I threw all the games away.
Yeah.
So I have been buying Amstrad games for a while, on and off. I bought more recently over the last couple of months, been buying hits for games.
I was talking down there in the dining room.
Did you? Were you playing? Was I disturbing you? Sorry. We disturbed your playtime in the dining room. Do you want to go back down and play?
I just wanted to go.
You just wanted to say hi. That's fine. Oh, you're a cuddle. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Right. See you later. Yeah, if I were in here filming, sometimes she'll come in and see what's going on and want to play.
Oh yeah, mine have done
She
that.
loves this. Yeah, she
Yeah.
loves the games room. She does well, or I say her games room because technically it will be ours. But yeah, the Amstrad is I got it for Christmas with a green screen monitor. Many hours on it. I remember completing RoboCop on it, which was cool. Funny story, I was telling my mate about this the other week. We had a Master System meetup, and a funny story I was telling him, I actually put my hand through the window of my house playing RoboCop.
Really?
I completed the game, and then I played it straight through again for some reason, and it must have got super hard, and I got something right on it. And he reckons it was wrong on this face, and I was like, ah, and I just punched my hand through the window, and I told my parents I was trying to open the window. Oh, back in the day. But yeah, so yeah, the Amstrad's mine from Christmas, and I was glad when I found it again. I've recently got it hooked up to a colour TV now, so I'm playing in colour, which I've never ever done before. So
Yeah, I saw it. It looks brilliant. Yeah,
it's amazing. And yeah, there is people who still collect the 8-bit microcomputer stuff, but obviously, like with VHS tapes and cassette tape, you got to be careful with mold and stuff. But no, it still works. It works perfect. I can play games on it. One thing I found though, when you're a child, the games on it took forever to load up.
yeah.
They don't.
No, that's weird, isn't it? It's just our
As
perception.
an adult, the time, yeah, I think I'm like, oh, that's really quick.
I can remember. So we had Spectrum, the other two, Spectrum and Commodore 64. Spectrum was the first one. Spectrum ZX48, which is kind of like mine, like you say, Christmas present, everything like this. And my mate had a Commodore 64, and I can remember, like you said, we used to have to. I remember like having to one of these games. It only worked like 1 in 10 times or something. We'd have to adjust the heads on like the cassette on the data cassette, and eventually when it worked, that was like, oh my god, like tell your mum don't turn the computer off all weekend in case we could never get it to work again. Do you know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's because the time just seemed a lot longer when you're a kid compared to when you're an adult. You got a bit more patience. And
it's probably
But no, I was really surprised that it doesn't take as long as I remember it used to do.
I bought a little pack, a little suitcase. It was sold on eBay as like a little suitcase, and in it was a load of old 8-bit games. And I was just bidding on it one night, like I'll see what this goes for. And I put in like a bid for like a tenner or something, and it was sold for like £7.80. I won it.
I saw the video. Yeah, I thought
yeah,
it was cool.
it was all Commodore 64, and there was some real good like nostalgia in there. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think it's the box art on them. It's really, really
yeah,
cool. Because
yeah,
obviously
yeah,
that
yeah.
would sell the game. Because on the back, the graphics were not very good. So
And
they'd sell
sometimes
the
they would
game.
show graphics from like the other
Other
machine,
games, yeah.
weirdly, wouldn't they? Yeah,
So basically, the box art would sell the game back in those
yeah,
days,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
era. So yeah,
Oh, no, I am tempted. I must admit, like you said, like you've done, I am tempted to get one. I haven't yet, but I would like to get one back again. You know.
yeah. I try gathering it now and again, and it is cool. I mean, it's great nostalgia from being a kid playing it, and
Yeah,
for
exactly.
me playing the same games I played in green screen, now playing in color. I'm like, wow, this pops. This looks so
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
It is surprised
Decent.
how much better it makes.
So are you going for like, is it the Hit Squad or something?
Yeah, I'm not going for a full set. Me and another guy, Kev, mainly Master System, he's known as. He's a massive, obviously, Master System collector. He's got pretty much
Yeah.
nearly a big game worldwide. He's collecting Hit Squad alongside of me, but he said he's going for a full set. I'm kind of saying I'm not, but still picking them up. There is some expensive ones on there. There's some 70 to 150 pound ones in that
Really? Is
collection.
there,
Yeah.
is genuinely?
There is,
Jesus
there is. It's
Christ.
really surprising that I know Kev just picked up WWF for 70 quid.
That's
So
mental, isn't it?
I think the dearest one I bought is about 12 quid. So yeah,
I didn't know that. That's amazing. I never
well,
knew.
my target was to, because there's sections, there's arcade, movie, and sports.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get all just movies, and then I've turned out there's a couple of really expensive movie ones, so I probably won't end up filling that. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, it can. It can get ridiculous, can't it?
Yes,
What do you say?
it can. But yeah, as a room, this collection, I collect everything pre-CD. That is the way
Okay.
I am retro.
Why? So you're not even entertaining like PlayStation
Well,
2, PlayStation
no,
3.
I just sold off all my PlayStation 1 collection a couple of months ago. I did a video on it, and then I sold it because I had no nostalgia for it. I was giving it. It just sat on the shelf. So I thought I'd sell it off and put the money into other things I'm into. So
That's
I
brilliant.
got rid of that. I actually have a PS2 sat in my bedroom as a DVD player that I don't know when it last got used, and I think there's a handful of games stuff behind the TV with it. But
Not
no,
like Wall of Rose, Silent Hill.
I kept really corner. All the expensive ones. I checked actually did see what there is, because I remember I took everything PS2 and took them away when someone gave me a load of them. Everything I get given, if someone gives me something, I instantly trade it on if it's nothing from a collection. The only thing I have kept is CD based in this room, technically, is the PSP, because my brother gave me his collection for my 40th.
Oh, they're a brilliant machine.
So, and funny enough,
machine.
I was on holiday last week, and I actually took it with me and was playing a couple of games on it, and it was quite cool playing.
They are really very good. Yeah.
But yeah, apart from that, everything is cassette or cartridge based.
That's amazing. That is brilliant. I didn't know that. I apologize. Yeah, that's really good. So, okay, so on that then, that's a kind of nice little segue. We can get into your YouTube channel, where obviously you talk a lot about these, you know, as we can see behind you there, you got the Master System set up. Absolutely incredible. You love doing your little 10-minute teasers of games, things like that. So it's kind of like your YouTube channel. How's that kind of going? What are the plans for that? And you know, so on.
Well, the reason I started my YouTube channel off was actually I got to a point where I liked the room in my collection, and then I always watched everyone on YouTube for years and never thought my collection was worthwhile putting on there, or nothing I would do. And then I posted a picture of me. I don't know if it's my Master System collection or my room. I kind of did a picture, and one chap on there was like, "Oh man, you need to start a YouTube channel. You need to show people what you got. People will be interested." So it'll be August now. So actually, it's about the 2-year anniversary of my YouTube channel. So I kind of just did a room tour, I think, December, just before starting, and then left it, and then I left the video alone, and then obviously I started in the August, and I started my channel, and it was hilarious. I've gone back and watched some footage, because when I'm filming, I'm whispering because my daughter's in bed. Yeah. But now I realise I can sit in here and talk really loud when she's asleep, and she will not hear anything.
Yeah, sound though, yeah.
So yeah, my channel, basically, I started it. Everything, I call myself Retro Rewind, because that was always a name I would like to have if I owned my own arcade. I always thought it'd be a cool name for an arcade, and I thought with it being retro, I just keep everything basically retro. I don't touch anything modern, I say, apart from the Switch. I do have a Switch collection with my missus, which we both don't seem to play, but I still keep buying games for it. But no, yeah, I could dabble more in the modern. I don't have it. I think PS2 is PS2 is one of the systems I had back in the day. And then I think I had the reason I missed PS1 is because I was an N64 kid. So
Okay.
they're around the same time. And then after the PS2, I think I got into like going out, having nice cars, doing up modified cars and stuff like that. And then I got into it was the arcade, it was the Xbox 360. So I had one of them. In fact, actually, I've got a box one in the attic someone gave me a few years ago, and it's still set up there. But yeah, but as for the channel, I try to keep everything retro. I am trying to do some VHS. I've got a stack of VHS reviews. I've done a couple of them. The Lego, I try to do some Lego builds on the channel. But yeah, I try to keep everything original, retro for me. I know the channel probably could grow and get better, more views, more subscribers if I did dabbled in the modern stuff. But the problem is I'm not into the modern stuff, so I wouldn't know what I'm on about, what I'm doing. I don't use card catchers or anything for my material. I basically sit my camera behind me, which is my iPhone, and I've pointed at my CRTV and I film my CRTV. So everything is quite just, shall I say, budget. I use my iPhone. I use an app on my iPhone to do my editing. Everything is done with my phone, nothing extra. So yeah,
That's really cool.
just a simple bog
Yeah, but I
standard
mean
channel.
that's all you need. I mean, I'm pretty much similar really. I'll use a camera on the top of my monitor or my phone. That's literally it. But no, I actually think that what you're doing is a good thing and actually can help in your audience because you're sticking to like the sort of the real retro stuff. You know, I don't know. Yeah, I like it because of that. Do you know what I mean? That you know that it's not going to be. You go on your channel, you know what it's going to be about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of didn't want to pull away from that. I wanted to just keep it old school. So anyone who's watching my channel, if they want to see old stuff, they'll come to me. If they want to see modern stuff, they won't come to me, and that is fine with me. There's
Yeah.
plenty of retro channels out there and modern channels, although switching between the two, and I do watch a lot of them. So it's hard to watch modern stuff because I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to some stuff. You must have a few little gems in your collection. Um, so I posed the question to you about most expensive, rarest stuff. You don't
Yeah.
have to showcase that at all, but is there anything kind of like in your collection? Your real kind of pride and joys, if you like.
I think people can show off. I say show off sounds bad. That some people have the most expensive game by paying for the most expensive for a game, or maybe they bought it 25 years ago and now it's expensive. But I don't see it showing off. If you want to spend a lot of money on a game, it's entirely up to you. It's your money. I hate that when people say. I would say front and center is Home Alone, which is up there. I'll grab it. This was my last game to complete my Master System collection. And I said this in my collection. This was the one game I actually wanted to buy when I set out for 50 games, and then it got to 100 games, and then I think I got to trying to fill my set. Funny enough, Home Alone was one of the first games I always wanted to buy. I was like, oh, I really want Home Alone because it's one of my favorite films. I had to have this, but all the years collecting, I never saw it for sale ever until it was November last year. I got this to fill my set, and I will say it online, loud and online. I paid £480 for that.
That's amazing. I mean, the
Lot
weird
of
thing
money.
about that, that's one of our favorite films. Like it's a classic, isn't it?
Yeah,
Every Christmas we watch it
I
without
do.
fail.
Yeah.
It gets the same laughs every year. It never fails to please, if you like. But weirdly, I was looking at that for the Mega Drive. It's funny, isn't it? When I bought
So
them,
cheap on Mega
when I got
Drive,
the
yeah.
Mega, yeah, it is. When I got the
Yeah, the
Mega
massive
Drive, I
release
thought
over here.
when I
It's
got the
really
Mega
hard.
Drive,
Yeah, it's a really hard game to find in the UK. Apparently, France, Germany, apparently they have more release of that game. Plus, if people who don't know Mass System, a lot of the games that they call the big hitters towards the end of the Mass System shutting down, which is which is like 92, 93, 94. They released some games. The problem was the Mega Drive was out.
Yeah, sure.
Obviously, they didn't make many of those games, and that is why those games are hard.
Like super rare. Okay.
Yeah, it's not just because the game is amazing or anything like that. It's just because they had not many production of them. Like I always laugh. I've got a game there called Championship Hockey. I believe I saw one sell for £600 on eBay the other week, and it's one of the worst games on the system.
Yeah, but that's the thing, isn't it?
If you're a collector, but yeah, I had to, yeah, on that one. Funny enough, I'll say quickly while it's on the Master System, the most expensive game I remember buying, which really made me shiver and shake buying it, was actually the first original Smurf game, which cost me £50. And I remember paying £50 for it. God, that's expensive.
You're thinking blood. Yeah.
And then I've moved on, like Smurfs. I've got Smurfs 2 from Italy, which if you want to buy it, you've got to buy it from Italy. That was my most expensive game until I bought Home Alone from Germany.
So you've got full PAL set now?
I have, yeah. It's 268 cartridge games.
Full and complete in box.
And then there's one more, which is called Great Soccer, which is down here, which is a card, which makes the 269 games.
So they're all boxed and complete.
Yep. I've got...
It's amazing.
All them behind me, they're all boxed with manuals. I've got the full cards. I've got the full kicks variants and the classic browns. I'll get one down here if I can. There is there's this classic brown, which is like a budget title re-release edition.
Ah, okay.
I'm too short on them, and the two other ones are quite rare and quite expensive. So
that's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, so technically, if it was that, the cards, the kits, I've got all them. It's just too short on the brown classics, and then I've got a few US homebrews. But yeah, so we'll move on. So that's most expensive. And funny enough, one of my favourite ones to own for the reason why I wanted it from the beginning, and it ironically being the last game to complete the Master System. Childhood ones of these. I've had this game on loose cartridge, cassette or cart or whatever you want. Cart, I think. Yeah, cart is the Atari, and it is. I've got a sealed boxed
ET. Wow, sealed.
Yep. I've had it on. I've actually most of my Atari collection I've got of. In fact, actually on the top there is.
Yeah.
From my childhood, I've got a massive collection of Atari from my childhood still, and I've still got the original console down there, which is the junior one, the Woody,
amazing,
which I wish I had blew up when I was a child. So I got this for £50 sealed. The only problem with these games sealed is they shrink and crush the box if you don't open it, do. So it's slightly crushed, but I've left it sealed for now. I've got a few sealed ones down there, not worth it, but yeah, that's one of my favorites. So I had to get that when I saw that.
That's brilliant.
You can go for like 200 and 250 quid sealed. So
yeah, I can imagine.
50 quid. I tell you what, what I've done is I picked a few from the systems I have. Castlevania on the Mega Drive.
Yeah.
Don't have a big. I think I've got about 60 games on the Mega Drive, and one of the reasons why I picked this is because I believe this is worth anywhere between 100 and 150. Oh yeah, thank you, sweetheart.
Downstairs.
Yeah, thank you. She's funny enough. My daughter's brought me up my multivitamin tablet I left on the side from this morning to take. She's very good like that.
Very important.
Obviously, I'm getting old. She knows I need my multivitamins. Yeah, the story of why I'm showing this is not because it's the most expensive game in my collection. I won this for a £5 off eBay, off Facebook raffle. People who know me and watch my channel know I've won a lot of raffles. And I got this for a £5 from Facebook raffle. Funny enough, I've actually got a Super Nintendo Star Fox edition variant. I won that for £10 on a Facebook raffle. No, actually, I won it for a £5. Sorry, I won it for a £5 because my mate said, "Oh, I bet you love that in your collection." And I went, "I'm not." Oh no, God! So I had to go and I won it. Funny enough, for the Master System collection, I think I've got, as I said, I won that with. I've got a few big hitters from winning on Facebook raffles.
That's amazing.
I won
have to have a look at these. Didn't know about these.
Yeah, a few games that are £100 up. I've won a good handful of them. it's been like Ninja Garden, Gaiden, shall I say? I won that I think I won that for a £5. So yeah, it's funny. So yeah, that was a £5, and then another £5 Facebook raffle win was I should have took them out of the boxes. This too shiny Zelda.
Yeah, that's fine. N64. Yeah.
I won that for a £5, which
Jesus
I know
Christ.
my most expensive N64 game. In fact, I think I won about 5 games for the N64 off that, and some peripherals. I've won the extension and the Rumble Pack boxed, which are down there, which I won off a raffle. So that's a good one. And funny enough, I won this for a £5. So Zelda on the Super Nintendo, that cost me a £5, and it's fully complete with map and everything.
Oh man, I was going to say the maps, the hard part.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, it's the boxes got a little rubbish on the sides and stuff, but for a £5 on a win on their Facebook raffle,
oh, you can't argue with that at all.
I was laughing. I try to pick one of each. Mega Man 4 on the NES. Story behind this is I don't have a lot of NES games. I've got about 10 loose cart games which I was buying. So when I set up the games room, I bought like a loose Master System 2, a loose SNES and NES, and had them next to my Mega Drive and the N64 I owned. And then I was just buying loose carts. And so I've got about 10 loose carts of the NES, and I've got a few boxes on them. Story behind this one is I bought a box action set with 5 games, so Super Mario 2 and 3 and this and a couple other ones in it for £70 off a lass who lived opposite me when I was a child. So she'd seen me put pictures on Facebook of some of the retro stuff I like to collect, and she's like, oh, do you fancy buying this off me? I found it in the attic, so I'll pay this. So I said, I don't know, 70 quid. And she's like, yeah, I'll pay for 2 pairs of shoes for my daughter for school. So I was like, cool.
Job done. Yeah.
And the funny story behind that is also when it's not funny, I shouldn't say it's funny. I got a lot of stuff from her because when a mum had passed away, she needed to empty the house out. She found all her brother's gaming stuff in the attic, and he had passed away a few years earlier. So she was like, I'd love to give you it because you're into your retro stuff. So I got all his collection.
Wow. Yeah.
A lot of his Mega Drive games and his Mega Drive Mark II, which is up there, which is mint, like brand new, and other things. And I've still got the stuff that I got from him, apart from the PS1, which I sold on, which I got from him, and I sold that on. But
I mean, that when that happens, you know, it at least it goes to someone that's going to appreciate it.
Yeah, because I asked her because she said, "Oh, a lot of the stuff's gone to a charity shop and all that." And I said, "Is there a charity that you want to?" And then she said, "Oh, yeah, there's so and so." I could. So I donated some money to the charity because I felt a bit guilty taking all this stuff for free. So I thought, at least if she wanted to take the money, then I gave some money to the charity. Yeah.
That was nice touch. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Well.
But yeah, I would say they technically that is probably my most valuable games for my collection. You know, these games I would say I really enjoy having, like on the SNES. I've got Super Soccer, which is worth nothing.
Yeah.
It's like £10-20 game.
Yeah, exactly.
But to me, having that back in my collection is nostalgia because I had that as a kid, and I remember playing it all the time. So so I don't know if to stroll on from the story. The reason why I got this collection is because back in the day I didn't really have much in gaming because I was a child of 3. Hard to pay for a child of 3 growing up, so I didn't really get a lot of games. Like I had Street Fighter 2 with my SNES for probably a good 6 months before I bought a second game, and funny enough, that was Street Fighter 2 Turbo, so I didn't help myself there. The Master System, I had Master System 2 were built in Alex Kid, and he said Alex the Kid. Then bloody hell, I get hung up for that, won't I? Alex Kid, and I completed that, and that's the only game I had for I think a year until the following Christmas, and then I got a couple of games. So that's what stemmed the Master System, because when I had the Master System as a kid, I always wanted. I said, wouldn't it look cool to have a wall of Master System games? And that is why
it's brilliant. It is brilliant. I can remember on my one we had I say we, it wasn't. It was just mine. It was we had the Master. I had the Master System original one. You know, the first
the
version.
better one, the
Yeah,
proper
the
one.
kind of like
Yeah,
the V-shaped one.
yeah.
And the games I really remember, if I was gonna, I don't own one now, but if I was gonna get one, the two games I'd go after, which is massive nostalgia, would be Rocky. I remember playing that. We played that a lot. And
Brilliant. I've
then,
got the action figure here.
yeah, brilliant. Oh, you got the.
Yeah.
That's
I've got the
amazing.
action figure. I've got a little setup on the shelf actually. Funny enough, I've got it next to the Rocky
Game.
game, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did Rocky on VHS right next to it. I did a little Rocky
I
shrine.
remember you to have to do like training first, didn't you, in the pad
Yeah,
and
full
that, and then
training. Great game.
the
Yeah.
bag, and then you'd go and have your fight. And then the other one was Outrun. And I used to
Yes.
play the arse off that game. I mean, because I used to complete it. I got to a point where I was pretty handy at it and you could finish it. But then it would be trying to finish it in all the different routes possible. Do you know what I mean? Like go left and then turn right and then go the other way and take the different route. And just, yeah. And those are the two. I remember playing a hell of a lot of them on. And the other one was that, I don't know if it was called just like World Soccer or something
Yeah, there
like
was
that.
one Soccer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Action Fighter was for me, and that's still one of my favorite games.
Action Fighter. Yeah.
Action Fighter, I love it. It's like a £10 game to buy today, and it was just the nostalgia for it. And
That's it. That's just it.
Game.
I mean, I've got stuff in my collection which wouldn't necessarily appeal to anyone else, you know, bar me, you know, but you know,
that's the beauty of collecting all the stuff you collect. Is everyone's nostalgia for something different, and everyone's got like me doing the Tuesday 10-minute teaser is a reason for us to try and play through every single game on the Master System. So I've played them, even though I've owned them, I've played every single one. And the reason I started was to put it out there and show everyone the Master System games. I know because everyone will automatically shut down the Master System and go, why own a Master System when you got the Mega Drive? Because the Mega Drive is 16-bit and it's far better. But it's such a good system. It's got some really good 8-bit games, like controversial, the Sonic on the Master System and the Mega Drive. I prefer the Mega Drive, the Master System, and there's people who do that. It's such a good game. They did a really good job of that.
Yeah. That would have come out after the Mega Drive, though, wouldn't it? How did that work? Surely Sonic would have come out.
Yeah, because
after the Mega Drive version.
Well, they put Sonic, like I've got Sonic included in this box set here, so it's obviously, like say, the Mega Drive was still out when Master System was still coming games out. So they just banged it out, and it's slightly different as well. It's okay. No, so it's slightly different, and it's really good. They've done a really good job of it.
Definitely. Okay, so we're kind of getting to the end now. I'm going to wrap it up, and
so yeah, I talked too much, mate. So.
No, absolutely fine. It's been fascinating, actually. It's been really interesting listening about that. But the question that I like to ask at the end, which I know collectors get this all the time, but I always like to know what it would be. So it's a really tricky one, and that is that if some sort of fictional event has happened and you've got to sell your whole collection off tomorrow, but you're allowed to keep one thing, what would that one thing be?
It's a tricky one. I did give this some thought because the Amstrad is got so much memory, and my parents buying it. I know how much how expensive for them to pick that up. So that would be it. But my go-to, my love for consoles and collecting is actually the Atari, because I had so much game time playing with it from when my father. I've lost my parents anyway, so it's like. That's the thing that draws to it. I remember playing it with my mum and dad, the Atari. And the original one from my childhood, and the games are still from my childhood. And so if I could keep one game and one console, it'd be the Atari, and the game would be Missile Commands, because that was my dad's favourite.
Amazing.
Love playing Missile Commands. So I used to love playing combat with him and kicking his ass at that, which was brilliant. So that would be the thing I keep, which is not worth anything at all, really, in money wise, but memory wise.
Memories, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's what it's about. And then kudos to your parents for keeping that stuff. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, I think, have got stories where those things have sadly got thrown out, and you know.
Yeah. You know, my mum was a real thing of keeping everything in the attic until we got our own house, and then she was like, "Can you?" You know, when
what you want with it then,
stuff. So they never threw anything out for my childhood, I believe. I think I kind of sold my console because obviously, like I said, we want a rich family. So all my consoles I technically owned, like the Master System and the Mega Drive, I would sell to get the next thing along, and that's what happens. So that's why a lot of the consoles they didn't have only the SNES and the N64 out in the attic. So yeah, but no, obviously the Amstrad. But yeah, that's pretty much how the reason behind my collecting is the inner child that missed out on a lot can now buy what he wants in theory, as much without the missus complaining too much about how much I spend. But I've been looking with Facebook raffle wins for some of the stuff I have. So, but no, yeah, I think I kind of got carried away with my collection because what I didn't have as a child, I'd love to own now. And I've always wanted a games room where I could walk in and just play any of the games. And that's why I built, funny enough, I've got my arcade over there looking at it. I built my arcade to stop me buying retro games.
Right, yeah.
So I thought, oh, if I build my arcade, it's got everything on it. I even got Ever drives I can use on the consoles. It'll stop me buying like physical copies. It didn't work.
No, there's no. You can't beat the physical originals. I don't think.
Just walking into this room and seeing it all is just.
Exactly.
I love that feeling, and my daughter loves coming in here and standing and looking at
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's great.
So it's all good.
Okay, well, Clint, it's been a pleasure. Absolutely brilliant. Like I say, we'll put the links below. Retro Rewind, the YouTube channel, and are you on Instagram? I believe
I am. Yeah. Instagram. Yeah. Twitter. Mostly Instagram. I like to post stuff on Instagram. I keep trying to post lots of retro stuff on Instagram whenever I can. So yeah, I'm on there.
Cool. All right. Well, I wish you all the best. I'll, keep collecting, keep doing what you're doing, and every success with the YouTube channel and everything like that.
And so, your channel's gone. I'll stop.
Well, yeah, you're getting there.
It's good. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thanks very much.
Yeah. Take care, mate.
Cheers.
Cheers.